The 1969 Washington quarter may appear like any other quarter in your pocket, but in reality, it's part of a fascinating and valuable group of coins that could hold unimaginable worth. When you think of rare coins, you probably imagine gold or silver, but did you know that certain varieties of this seemingly common quarter have reached values of $10,000, $20,000, or even more? How is that possible? Let's dive into the history and hidden secrets of this coin. Historical background of the 1969 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Over the decades, the design remained largely unchanged, except for a few key modifications and coin variations. In 1969, the U.S. Mint produced the Washington quarter in standard copper-nickel composition, which means, by itself, it has little precious metal value. However, it's the errors, die varieties, and rarities from that year that hold the big-ticket prices. Key variations and rare finds. There's a reason why the 1969 Washington quarter has earned a place on the list of the most valuable modern coins. The key is its die varieties and minting errors, which make certain versions far rarer and more valuable than others. 1969's double die obverse. Perhaps the most famous and valuable of the 1969 Washington quarter variations is the 1969's double die obverse. This rare error occurred when the die used to strike the coins malfunctioned, causing the image of Washington and the date to be struck twice, resulting in a doubled appearance. These coins can sell for anywhere from $1,500 to over $20,000 or more, depending on their condition and the severity of the doubling. The higher the grade, the more you could be looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single coin. 1969 No mint mark. Most 1969 quarters were minted with an S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, but some rare 1969 quarters were released without any mint mark at all. This error makes the coin even more scarce, and it's highly coveted by collectors, often fetching values in the range of $500 to $5,000, or higher, depending on the condition and buyer demand. 1969 Washington quarter in MS67 or higher. For those in excellent condition, graded MS67 or above, the value of any 1969 Washington quarter skyrockets. High-grade specimens can fetch several $1,000s, especially those from the San Francisco Mint with no major errors but with top-tier quality. Condition is everything. With any coin, condition is key. A 1969 Washington quarter in poor condition could still have value, but only as a general collector's item or for historical interest. In comparison, a graded MS65 or MS66 coin can demand hundreds, while coins that are graded MS67 or higher can leap into the thousands. What's more, even if your 1969 quarter isn't an error coin, it's still worth checking its grade because even non-error versions in exceptional condition have appreciated over time. Why is this coin so valuable? The combination of historical significance, rarity, and quality of certain 1969 Washington quarters makes them highly desirable. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with errors or unique characteristics that stand out from the ordinary. And for those who have been collecting coins for years, the 1969 Washington quarter represents an incredible opportunity to own a piece of numismatic history. Historical background of the 1966 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, which first debuted in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday, has been a staple of U.S. coinage ever since. By 1966, the design had become a familiar sight in American pocket change. At this time, the U.S. Mint was still using the copper-nickel clad composition for quarters, which had been introduced in 1965 as part of a move to reduce the cost of coin production by removing silver from most coins. The 1966 Washington quarter doesn't contain any silver, so its intrinsic value is based on its rarity and condition. However, it's the unique errors and graded specimens that make this coin stand out in the world of collecting. Key variations and valuable features. 1966 SMS, Special Mint Set, Quarter. While the majority of 1966 quarters were produced for general circulation, the Special Mint Set, SMS, quarters were created with higher quality standards for collectors. The 1966 SMS quarters are rarer and can fetch a significant premium, often worth $50 to $300 or more depending on their condition and demand. 1966 Washington quarter with errors. Some 1966 quarters were struck with minting errors that increased their value. One of the most valuable errors to look for is the double die or misstruck coins where the date or lettering appears doubled or misaligned. These error coins can be worth anywhere from $100 to $1,000 or more depending on their rarity and condition. 1966 quarter in uncirculated condition. As with any coin, condition is key. A high-grade, uncirculated 1966 Washington quarter, graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch upwards of $100 or more, especially if it has been well preserved over the years and shows minimal wear. Why does the 1966 Washington quarter hold such value? The 1966 Washington quarter holds value primarily because of its rarity and the potential for errors or high-grade specimens. While the coin may not seem incredibly valuable at first glance, the special mint set, minting errors, and excellent condition examples have made it highly sought after by collectors. For coin enthusiasts, finding a 1966 SMS quarter or an error coin could be like striking gold, both due to its historical significance and scarcity. Segment 1, Background History. The 1987 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, marked with that small but powerful D mint mark. Over 655 million of these coins were produced, and on the surface, they seem pretty common. But as with all things in the world of numismatics, it's not about how many were made, it's about how many survived with unusual traits. The 1987 D isn't silver, but it's still a heavyweight in the world of rare errors. Segment 2, Rare Errors and Value. Here's where things get spicy. The most valuable 1987 D quarters come with dramatic mint errors. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and even struck on the wrong planchet. These aren't your average quarter mistakes, they're one-in-a-million anomalies that can fetch hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition. One off-center 1987 D quarter sold for $2,500, while another with a double strike error shocked collectors at over $5,000. But here's the twist, some of these valuable coins are still in circulation. That's right, they could be hiding in your change jar, your old coin rolls, or that drawer you never clean out. Imagine finding a single 25-cent coin worth more than your last paycheck.